Hi, my name is Randy Lubin, and I'm excited to give you a tour of Story Synth. Story Synth is a free web platform that makes it super easy to design, play, and share storytelling games. In particular, we're talking about prompt-driven storytelling games, like For the Queen or The Quiet Year. In this case, it's games where players are getting prompts that help them drive the story forward in interesting ways. Now, as I said, designing these games is super easy, but before I show you how, let me just tell you, you can get all the information I'm going to share at storysynth.org. And there are a lot of links here to everything from detailed documentation that walk you through some of the different formats and some of the awesome ways that you can customize your games. There's also links to a gallery where you can see plenty of cool example games to gain some inspiration or maybe just have fun. For now, though, let's just jump right in and make a game. So making a game, as I said, is super easy. You don't need to know how to code. All you need to be able to do is copy and paste a Google Sheet. That's pretty much it. So in this case, we have a pretty bare bones template. This is for the flagship shuffled format. We'll talk about the other formats later. And all of this is editable, just a Google Sheet. There's three main types of rows here I'll walk through real fast. So first up are these option rows. These tell StorySynth some of the high-level data that might be interesting in different ways, and it also lets you add in some customization. So game title, right now it's tour demo, say live, so you'll see all this text is just going to be taken in real time. You can add a byline or game blurb. You can also, in this case, this option row says, hey, I want to see a progress bar while people are working through instructions so that people know how many more instruction cards there are until the game starts. You have the ability to add all sorts of style customization if you know CSS. You can kind of redesign the whole page, but if you don't know code, that's okay. It's not at all mandatory. And then the next set of cards are all the prompt cards. And so it depends what deck they're on based on what number is over here on the left. So 0 means it's part of the instructions. Those are just always going to appear in order. Then the next batch of cards are going to be shuffled based on the deck. So in deck 1, all of these prompts are going to be shuffled together every time you play the game. And in this case, there's just an ending card also, which is in the final deck. Though theoretically, we can have a bunch of cards in deck 2, and then 3, and then 4. So if you wanted something inspired by the Quiet Year, where there are different seasons, you can easily have different decks for spring, which will go through in a shuffled order, then summer, then fall, then winter, where it's shuffled within it, but you know that you're going to get through all of one season before continuing to the next. In any case, once you've come up with your prompts, so you can just, this column right here, column B is going to be the headers for those cards. Column C is the body text for those cards. We'll see them in just a second. Add to your heart's content. Add as many prompts as you want. And then when you're ready, just make sure that it's viewable to the public. Copy that link. Jump back to the StorySynth homepage. Select the format that you're using. And paste in that link, just the full link. You're going to click Create Game. And first thing it does is throw you to a game launcher page. This is a link that you can share with friends, playtesters, throw it up on your website, link to it from itch, really whatever you want, but this will be the first place that people go when they're directed to see your game. Then they can create a bespoke session name to launch into a session of their game. You can just refresh these or put in something custom. And when you're ready, then you just click Join Session. And now you're in one specific session, one instance of your game. And so to see what we have here, you have the title and byline up here, Tour Demo Live. And here's the first of the instruction cards. And now we can just click through. We see there's a couple instructions. The instruction bar fills up. And here are our prompts. As I said, those first few are in shuffled order. So we have C, then D, then A, then B in this case. And then we hit that ending card, which is always last. But if we want, we can restart. And now if we jump past the instructions, it starts with B, then A, then D, then C. So a different order. Now, this is, as I said, it's live. It was really easy to make, but if we wanted to edit it, we could also do that live, and that's pretty easy too. So let's jump back here, jump into the CSS. Let's change that background color. Maybe change it from linen to blue. This might not be the most aesthetically pleasing, but if I refresh the page, automatically takes in that change. So it makes it really easy to iterate, and you don't have to worry about old versions of the game. If you share a link out, it'll always have the most current information taken from that spreadsheet. Now, something else I'll call out is that StorySynth is completely live and synchronous. And that means that if you're in a play session and other people are at the exact same URL, they'll see the same thing at the same time. Let me show you. So I'm just going to drag this over here, and we're going to paste in this URL. You can also grab it by hitting this button here to copy. So I'm going to paste in that URL here, and suddenly you'll see two things real quick. One, although it's hard to see on the blue background, there are now two eyeballs bouncing here. And that means that there's two people currently viewing this page. You'll see both people are in the same prompt, and if I move back, the prompts are always in sync. Makes it really easy to play online with friends over video chat or audio. Anyway, this is just a taste of what you can do with Story Synth. You can scale up to as many players as you want. And let me now show you some more advanced features. Well, to start, let me show you some full functioning games just to show you what you can do with some of the CSS. So Clash at Ikara is a game where you're playing a bunch of heroes and you're helping a defenseless community protect itself from bandits. And in this case, it uses the shuffled format, but it has a bunch of different decks, and these decks correspond to different acts of the game. So in each act, you'll get a different prompt. So the first act is all about creating the heroes, and so you get prompts to create the heroes. Second act is about understanding the village and the villagers, or the community that you're helping. So you'll see light customization and styling here, everything from a subtle texture on the card background to a gradient over here. Custom fonts all work fine. Here and around the realm, you'll see there's like different art in the background and title cards, some art at the bottom of each card. This is a game about people racing around a magical, whimsical realm to try and win a bet. In any case, you can see there's a lot of customization that you can get into when you want to make your game, but you don't have to. You can totally keep it simple and just get a bunch of prompts captured and start playing and playtesting and having fun. As I said, there's a lot of ways to customize the game, and if you go to the documentation, you can see all sorts of different formats, and shuffled is the big one, but other ones can involve timers, can involve organizing the decks in different ways. So around the realm, which I mentioned, you're going through a bunch of different phases. So it's like you draw from deck A, then B, then C, then A, then B, then C. So that's possible. There are also other modes where you can do things like have prompts that are composited from a bunch of different decks. So for example, my brother and I have a game about heroes trying to win, would-be heroes winning accreditation by going on adventures. And so the prompt for the adventure is a randomly selected quest giver, and the type of skills that you're trying to build, and then the objective of the quest. And so one is chosen from all of those three categories, and it's all composited into one card, one prompt that gets shared. So you really do have a ton of flexibility in terms of the types of games that you can create with these different formats. And I'm always adding new ones. So if you have a suggestion for something, you have something you want to make but StorySynth doesn't enable it, please reach out to me. I'm available on social media. You can also email help@storysynth.org, and I'd be really excited to hear what it is you want, and if I can build it, I'll build it. So as I said, there's tons of different formats. There's also tons of custom options that I'll scroll through quickly. So we covered some of them in the demo, but there's everything from visually editing to adding images and custom cards and backgrounds. There's a lot you can do here if you want to customize. Again, if you want, you can just ignore all this and just create a simple template with the cards and the prompts that you want just to get playing. As I said, there's a gallery, and you can go check out the gallery with games. If you create a game that you want submitted to the gallery, send it over my way, and I'll add it so that more people can find your games. And then in terms of checking out other things, there's really, I guess one other thing I'll show you is extensions. So extensions are a little bit beefier than some of the custom options I talked about before, and they allow you to add another degree of functionality. So just to show you what some of these look like, if you wanted to add a big text box at the top that talks about whatever details or rules you might want to see, you can add that. You can add little counters that can be increased or decreased to keep track of different stats or game state. And that also, again, like everything else, gets synced among all of the players of the game. And there's a editable list. In this case, I'm using it to track inventory, but could also be used to track game characters. So I can just add, new thing, and it shows up. I can delete it. Also, you can add dice rollers, so you can change up put in the number of dice that you're rolling, and it'll roll, and the types of dice. Change it from 3 to 2, and then finally there's a deck, so you can be drawing sort of standard cards from a deck, reshuffle, draw some more. So anyway, these are just some of the easy things that you can add to your game to take it a little bit beyond just a series of prompts. And likewise, I'll be adding more of these too, and if you have suggestions for what to add here, I'd love to hear it. But that's about it for this tour of Story Synth. So, as I said before, lots of information on storysynth.org. In the summer of 2021, we're running the StorySynth Summer Jam, and so if you want to design a game with StorySynth, now's a great time to get started. And I would love to help you out to the extent that you have any questions or need new features. We have a Discord too. I'll have a link to the Discord under this video. And Discord's another good place to come and get help or ask for people to play test your game and give you feedback, or just to share it because you're excited to share it. In any case, my name is Randy Lubin. You can find me online at Randy Lubin on most sites. You can always email me. Pretty much anything at storysynth.org will go to me, but help@storysynth.org or info@ will work well. And I really hope you use this as a chance to get designing some cool games. And my goal with this is to make the barrier to designing new games as low as possible, so everyone feels empowered to just tinker and get that idea out of their head and onto the table. So if you do make something, please, I'd love to hear about it. Nothing gives me more energy than seeing people creating games with these tools. Thanks so much. Take care.